I never expected a routine trip to the county records office to destroy a family. At the time, I was 19 and working a temporary summer job scanning old property documents into a digital archive. It was boring work. Most days were spent alone in a windowless room feeding dusty files into a machine. One afternoon, my supervisor handed me a stack of records and told me to flag any duplicate entries. Halfway through the pile, I noticed something strange. The same house appeared twice. At first, I assumed it was a filing mistake, but the ownership records were completely different. One listed an elderly man named Robert. The other listed a woman named Angela. Same address, same dates. I mentioned it to my supervisor. He glanced at the screen and froze. For several seconds, he didn't say anything. Then he quietly told me to stop scanning those files and bring them to his office. I should have left it alone. Instead, curiosity got the better of me. The address looked familiar. It took me a minute to realize why. It was my grandmother's house, the place where every Thanksgiving happened. The house my grandfather had built decades earlier. The house everyone in our family assumed would someday pass to my mother. I waited until my supervisor stepped out, then pulled up the documents again. What I found made no sense. The second owner, Angela, had inherited half the property years ago. I had never heard that name before. Not once. Not in family stories. Not at reunions. Never. I printed the records and took them home. That evening, my mother looked at the papers and immediately went pale. She sat down without saying a word. My father asked what was wrong. She didn't answer. She just stared at the name, Angela. Finally, she whispered, "That's impossible." I asked who Angela was. My mother looked like she might cry. Then she said something that changed everything. "Angela is my sister." The room went completely silent. I thought she meant a half-sister she'd known about. She shook her head. No. She looked at the documents again. "We buried Angela when she was 5. I honestly thought she'd lost her mind, but she wasn't joking." My mother explained that she had a younger sister who died in an accident decades earlier. The family had never talked about it because the loss devastated everyone. According to every story she'd ever heard, Angela was gone. Yet the legal records showed Angela inheriting property years after her supposed death. None of it made sense. The next morning, my mother drove straight to my grandmother's house. I went with her. When we arrived, my grandmother was drinking coffee on the porch. The moment she saw the documents, she started crying. Not normal crying, the kind that comes from carrying something for far too long. My mother demanded answers. For nearly an hour, my grandmother refused to speak. Then she finally admitted the truth. Angela never died. The accident happened. Everyone thought she had. But after a lengthy custody dispute involving relatives, Angela had been secretly raised by another branch of the family hundreds of miles away. My grandfather believed separating the children would give Angela a safer life. My grandmother hated the decision. The marriage nearly ended because of it. Eventually, they agreed to tell everyone she had died, including my mother, including the entire family. For more than 30 years, everyone believed it. My mother was shaking by that point, not from anger, from disbelief. She kept asking the same question. "Where is she now?" My grandmother looked away. Then she gave us an address, 3 states away. A week later, we drove there. None of us knew what to expect. A scam, a mistake, a stranger. Instead, when the door opened, my mother started crying before anyone said a word. The woman standing there looked exactly like her. Not similar. Exactly. Same eyes, same smile, same nervous habit of twisting her hands. For several seconds, nobody spoke. Then the woman whispered my mother's name, and that's when I realized something even crazier. She knew who we were, the entire time. She had grown up hearing about the family she'd never met, the family that believed she was dead, the family that had spent decades grieving someone who was still alive. My mother and her sister sat together for hours that day trying to recover 30 years of stolen time.